Greetings and salutations, everyone. This is Swedish Jeff, and it's been a minute since I have posted a YouTube video, so I wanted to let you all know that I came home from work today, and I was hoping to do this last week because I took off a couple days, Thursday and Friday. I was hoping I would get this last week or last weekend. It did not happen, but today I came home and I was able to get, you can see this, 1994 MLB season, along with the extra cards here, the extra cards of that season. These are the envelopes here. So we're going to do, I already did the unboxing. What do you call this, a boxing video? Well, here we go. And these are the cards here, so we're going to just go through a few of these. I have to organize these later tonight. So I don't like that. We're going to fold that one back this way here. So the very first card in the pack here is, man, I got to definitely bend that back. Steve Game Boy Avery. I didn't know that was his nickname. So we got the Atlanta Braves. I'm just going to go down the list here, look at some of the players we got. Steve Bedrosian, who was back on the Braves then. Rafael Belliard. This is 94. Let's see. Mike Bielecki. Jeff Blauser. Jarvis Brown. Dave Gallagher. Tom Glavine, whose nickname evidently was Gretzky. I don't remember that, but okay. Works for me. Let's see. Milton Hill. David Justice. Just Ice. Okay. Mike Kelly. Sorry, I'm blocking these other numbers here out of the way. Hope that's coming in clear. Am I coming in clear? We have Roberto Kelly. And I know this is all Atlanta Braves, but hey, what about the other teams? Ryan Klesko, Mark Lemke. So yeah, we're just going to go through here. I'm just going to finish up the Braves. We'll put their cards to the side because I got to organize all these cards later. And I'm trying to do that later tonight, so put them over to the side. Now we got the Chicago Cubs here, Willie Banks. And this is not a very good Cubs team. All the teams I have of the Chicago Cubs, my favorite team, I have the 81 season, the 87 season, and now 94. I must be a glutton for punishment because the Cubs are bad. In 87, they started out good. They were in first place as around late May, around Memorial Day, and then they just kind of faded. The infamous swoon in June that they had for many years. We got Jose Bautista. No, not that Jose Bautista. We have Steve Buechele. Wow. Yeah, these are... Bollinger was actually a pretty good pitcher here. Jim Bollinger. Frank Castillo, rest in peace. He was a good pitcher. Chuck Krim. Sean Dunston, Thunder Pup. Kevin Foster, rest in peace. Another person that left us way too soon. Mark Grace, Amazing Grace. How sweet the sound. How sweet the sound of that bat. Jose Guzman. And then we got Todd Haney. Some of these names I recognize, some of them I do not. Jose Hernandez, good player, very good utility guy. Glenn Allen Hill. I remember him. He came back to the Cubs in 98. Blaine Ilsley. Mike Matsudian. Derek May. He was a good player. Derek May, I remember him. We have Mike Morgan. Randy Myers with a great nickname, Psycho. Dave Otto. That was also Steve Lyons' nickname, wasn't it? Wasn't he Psycho too? So wouldn't he be Psycho 2, technically? Mark Parent, was a good player. Dan Plesac, now with MLB Network. Carl Tuffy Rhodes, who had a pretty amazing opening day with 3 home runs against the Mets. Wonder if he can duplicate that here. Kevin Roberson, Ray Sanchez, Ryan Sandberg. This was his last season, and then we thought it was his last season. He retired in June and was out for the whole 95 season, and then came back in 96 before retiring after the 97 season. Sammy Sosa. This is his 94 card. Steve Traxel, one of the slowest pitchers ever that I have seen. Rick Wilkins and Anthony Young. Rest in peace to him. Sadly, a lot of these guys have passed on very young. Eddie Zambrano, who was not related to Carlos Zambrano. Those are the Cubs. We're going to kind of skip ahead here. Skip ahead. And look at this, Brett Boone. And then we got Cincinnati, so we're just going to skip ahead a little bit here. Start pulling out cards. Let's see where we are now. Let's see who's in this list. We're up to the Dodgers. Tom Candiotti. Omar Dahl. Delino DeShields. Darren Dreyfurt. Jim Gott. There he is, Jim Gott. Kevin Gross. Chris Gwynn. That's Tony's brother. Dave Hansen. I will tell you an interesting story here about Dave Hansen. So there's a former Major League manager who told the story where Hansen and Jeff Hamilton both played in the minor leagues in the Dodgers system. And Jeff Hamilton was, by all accounts, the more talented, had more talent as a third baseman, as a hitter. Very good player. Played in the majors for a few years, but this former manager said he just didn't really seem to have his heart in baseball. And he always talked about opening a fishing shop. And sure enough, that's what happened. Is he played for maybe 3 or 4 years. Jeff Hamilton was a good player, but just didn't really have his heart in baseball, and he ended up retiring. Dave Hansen, on the other hand, didn't have the talent that Jeff Hamilton had, but he was much more passionate, type of guy that just lived, breathed, ate baseball, and he had a 15-year career. So it just goes to show you the difference between, somebody that's got the talent, and then there are guys that just, they just want to play baseball. They just want to play. They live for the game. Let's see what other cards we got here. Let's see. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to skip that for now because I have this other set I want to show. And these are the extra players here. With the 94 set, you had to get this. We didn't have to get it, but I chose to get this extra set. These are the extra players here. I'll need to add these to the... these are the guys that maybe didn't play as much. Don Paul. We have Randy Veers. I don't remember him. I'm sorry, Randy. I do not remember Randy Veers. I don't remember him. These are like guys that didn't really play very much. Turk Wendell. Now, I know you all remember Turk Wendell. Who doesn't remember Turk Wendell? Willie Wilson. I think he was released in May or June of that year. He didn't play very long here. Richard DeLucia. Scott Service. No, not that Scott Service. This is Service. And we got Jerry Spradlin. Jim, I hope I'm not butchering your name here. All right, I'm going to try this. Jim Zakowski. Jim Zakowski. And we have Jayhawk Owens, formerly of the Colorado Rockies. Mark Thompson. Tyler Van Burke Leo. And let's just continue, shall we? Bruce Walton. Brian Drummond. Not to be confused with Dramamine. Just kidding. Willie Fraser. Mike Jeffcoat. We have a hodgepodge here. Charles Johnson. Now, he had a very good career. Excellent defensive catcher. Had a great arm. Who else? Johnny Johnstone. No relation to Jay Johnstone, I don't think. Kurt Miller. And we have Russ Morman. Gregory O'Halloran. Rich Scheid. Jesus Tavares. Who else we have here? Darnell. Is it Daryl Whitmore? Roberto Pedagini. Billy Ashley. Now, I remember him. He was like a top prospect at one time with the Dodgers that unfortunately, for whatever reason, just did not pan out. So I'm going to go through some more cards here. We got Keith Lockhart, Jose Martinez, Ray McDavid, Melvin Nieves. Now, he was a top prospect in the Braves system, and I believe he was traded to San Diego in the Fred McGriff trade, if I'm not mistaken, if memory serves, which sometimes it does not. And again, just somebody that he had a decent career, but did not turn out to be like a lot of people thought he would have, in San Diego. I'm sorry, what was that name? Kerry Taylor. Tim Worrell, brother of Todd Worrell. We have Brad Brink. Rickert Fanate, or Fanite. I'm sorry, I'm butchering these names. I do apologize in advance. Eric Johnson. Mark Leonard. Tony Menendez. Kevin Rogers. Damon Buford. Now, I remember Damon. He used to be with the Chicago Cubs, son of Don Buford. Scott Klingenbeck. Philip Bailey, not to be confused with the guy formerly with Earth, Wind, and Fire, who did a duet with Phil Collins called Easy Lover. Great song, by the way. Gregory Blosser, Greg Litton, Jose Melendez, and Nate Minchie. Yeah, so we're almost done with that list, and we're going to just finish it off here. Let's just take a look at these cards. Chad OJ, who, when O.J. Simpson was arrested, Manny Ramirez thought that they were talking about Chad OJ. So, no, not the same guy. Herb Perry, Julian Tavares, a former Cub. Bill Wirtz. Yeah, Ricardo Ingram. Here's a good name. Kirk Knudsen. I like those alliterations. Kirk Knudsen. Jose Lima. Oh, rest in peace. What a fun character he was. And a very good pitcher, too. Phil Steedham. Tom Goodwin, another former Cub. A lot of former Cubs on this list. Mark Kiefer. Pat Listash, former Rookie of the Year of 1992. Mike Matheny. We got Dwayne Singleton. Rick Rona, who was a former Cub again. Why are you always pointing out the former Cubs? I don't know why I do that. I don't know. I have no clue. Keith Garagazzo, not a former Cub. Denny Hocking. Anybody remember Danny Hocking, formerly of the Minnesota Twins? Sorry for the spit sound there. So we have Russ Davis, Robert Einhorn, Mark Hutton, Bobby Ojeda, Bobby O, Jim Bowie. Remember the Alamo? I don't know how many people remember that Jim Bowie, but we'll see. Mike Brumley. Rest in peace. He just passed away, I think, a year or two ago. Fausto Cruz. Eric Helfin. Steve Carsey. Mike Moeller. Ed Nunez. Let's see. Steven Phoenix. At first I thought it said Simon Phoenix. I was getting Demolition Man vibes. Steve Sachs. Oh my goodness. Wow. That had to be his last year. He was a very good player. That had to be his last year. Jeff Schaefer. Roger Smithberg. Darren Bragg. Jeff Darwin. George Glenatsis. Chris Howard. And Quinn Mack. Let's see. We only got a few more cards. We'll go ahead. Why not? So we'll have the last few cards here to go through. So we have, who is this? Mark Newfield. Greg Perkle. Not to be confused with Urkel. Did I do that? Yes, you did. Eric Plattenberg. Mackie Sasser, unfortunately, best remembered for the yips where he had a hard time. He was a very good catcher, and then all of a sudden he had this mental block where he would just hesitate. He would like pump fake a couple times before he would throw it back to the pitcher. Supposedly he was the inspiration for the character Rube Baker in the Major League 2 movie. Could be urban myth, but that's what I heard. Dale Swain, former manager of the Chicago Cubs. Not for long. Bobby Thigpen. We have Robert Wells. Sorry about that. Stop blocking the numbers. Okay. Gerald Willard, Jerry Willard. I remember him. Jack Armstrong, the All-American boy. He is there. Duff Brumley. Good name. Good name. Terry Burrows. We have Butch Davis. Steve Dreyer. And we have Steve Washer. No, I'm just kidding. Rob Ducey. Here's another guy that was expected to be he was a top prospect, and just for whatever reason just did not pan out, unfortunately. James Hurst. I wonder if he's related to Bruce Hurst. Chuck Jackson. Tim Leary. Rick Reed. Here he is. Rick Reed. I remember him with the Mets later on. I think he was a replacement player, if not mistaken, but he had a long career as a pitcher. Dan Smith. Robert Perez. Aaron Small. And last but not least, Randy St. Clair. Okay. Okay, so, yeah. Those are the guys. And this is the set. This is the 94 set. I got to go through these tonight, but thank you for joining me. And let me see. I'm going to get you on my camera here. So here I am. Hello. Just want to say hi and hope that everyone has a great evening. Thank you for supporting the channel. I have some updates here coming up once I start feeling a little bit better. I'm going to be talking more about those. Everyone, have a great evening. Thanks, everybody.